Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is Ben Petches-Kelly, who has just come off a great first round win on Almighty Fighting Championship 19. Ben, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Before we talk about the actual fight, how's the hand doing?
Good, lads. Good. I had surgery 2 days ago, lad. So it's on the mend now, lad. So it can't get no worse than this. It's only going to get better. So hopefully give it a few weeks and I'll be back doing what I can do.
What was the final injury on it? What actually happened with the hand?
So the second metacarpal on my right hand was completely broken, displaced. So they've had to cut my hand open, realign the bone, pin it back together, and it's now back together. So hopefully it's on the mend.
100%. Let's go to your fight, Almighty 19, your professional debut. Talk to me, how was that?
Yeah, good. Best as a debut you can get, really. First round knockout, we can't really ask for too much more. I personally think it was a bit sloppy, but I'm my worst critic, you know what I mean? I'm going to critique every little thing that I do. So, a few things that I'd want to do different next time, but I still think I give a good performance out of myself, and especially considering now that everyone knows that I broke my hand with the second right hand that I threw, and I'm still throwing and still hitting them with it. So, I'm happy with how it came out in the end.
Did it hurt much your hand during the fight, or was it more after the fight that you felt it?
More after the fight, obviously, you have the adrenaline and that, don't you? So, in the fight, I felt something go, but I thought it was just where I hit him with a good shot, to be honest, and I just felt it a bit more than normal. But in the fight, it weren't no problem to me. I didn't think it was broke, didn't over questioning or nothing, and after it, mate, it was killing. I couldn't get my glove off, to be honest, before I got the win, so it doesn't really matter.
With it being your professional debut and you get the win, how did you celebrate?
By going on holiday for a week to Tenerife. So win, lose or draw, I would have been in Tenerife getting fat. I haven't had like any time off the gym really in the last 3 years, to be honest, mate. Lockdown for like 3 weeks at the start of it probably was the most I had off. So even though the injury's so shit, it sort of forced me to relax and take a bit of time off the gym, which obviously I don't want to do, but sometimes it's better to have a few weeks off where you actually don't do nothing and you can sort of give your body that chance to heal properly, where normally I'd be straight back in the gym and training again. But I'm at that point now where I would just want to get back in the gym and get training.
As we know, you're from a very good gym in Liverpool, Next Gen. How did you come about training with those guys?
Literally just Googled it, to be honest with you, lad. When I thought I'd give it a go, I was just Googling the best gyms about. Obviously, I knew I wanted to do it, and I thought if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. So before I even stepped foot in the gym, I wanted to fight. So I knew I was going to be sticking on it until at least I fought once. So I thought, fuck it, I'll go to the best gym I can. And luckily, it was the Next Gen that I chose, and you just have to look at the fighters that we produce, and that's all I done when I Topology. Looked at the fighters that were fighting out of there, and it was a no-brainer to go there.
With the hand injury, it looks like obviously we're not going to see you again this year, but is there a time frame of when in 2022 you want to get back in there?
Not really at the minute, just because it's so soon after the surgery. I obviously want to get back in there as soon as I can, but won't see me again this year, like out there. I don't think I'm allowed to. I think I'm in a cast until the start of December, so I won't be able to train fully till then. Still be able to do the odd bits, but hopefully a little late March, April, maybe, if my hand's okay, then that's what I'm going for. But I'm young and I don't need to fight every other month. You know what I mean? I'm not in no rush. I'm only 20. I'm 1-0. I've got the time to. I've got the time to take my time. I don't have to rush. So I'll be taking my time with this one and not rushing back into it. Like
100%. I remember looking at your amateur record earlier. I think you had a record of 5-4, and you fought on some decent shows. Obviously, Almighty, which is a really good regional show over here, and you also fought on Cage Warriors a couple of times. Before we talk about Almighty, which you've just fought on, what was the experience like on Cage Warriors?
you can't get a better show in Europe than Cage Warriors. I don't care what you say. People saying like, "Oh, Bellator," and yeah, Bellator paying more money and that, but they might be paying more money, but tell me someone from Bellator or Europe that's ever got anywhere. You know what I mean? Cage Warriors is the show that you want to be on, and it's the closest thing to the UFC that you're getting in Europe, in my opinion. Everything's run professionally. It's a big show, big moment for you, and when you get the win on there, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always remember fighting on Cage Warriors as an amateur. I think it was 2-1 at the time. So to fight on Cage Warriors, one of my good mates, Adam Bentley, was headlining, and it was a good day. You know what I mean? So to be able to get that experience at such a young age as well. I think I was like 18 or 17. I think I was. Sorry, I don't think I had my 18th birthday yet. So to fight on Cage Warriors at 17, you can't go wrong with that.
100%. And it seems Cage Warriors have a good relationship with Next Gen. Obviously, they've produced some real good fighters through the promotion, Molly, Paddy, and some great fighters coming through already. Do you think it's only a matter of time till you're on there professionally now?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. When the next set of Cage Warriors have got a double header in London in December. I think it's London anyway. I know they've got a double header, but obviously I won't be able to fight on that. But the Cage Warriors after that, I'll be putting my name forward to Ian Dean and to Graham Boylan and saying I deserve my shot. But if you turn around and say you only want to know, go and get another win or two, then I'll go and get another win or two. But you will definitely see me on Cage Warriors and holding that belt at some point in the future.
100%. I want to talk about the Cage Warriors trilogy that's just gone, obviously. What wasn't the best weekend of Next Gen, but I'm sure all the guys are going to be raring to go again, wanting to get back the losses that obviously, unfortunately, they suffered. But do you think, I'm gonna talk about Nathan because obviously it was his first loss. Do you think that's just going to spur him on even more?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Nathan only ever got beat once at amateur, and if you look at the level he came from, that one loss at amateur to now, it's unbelievable. And luckily, I've had a few losses at amateur myself, so I know how it feels. And every person in the gym, whoever has lost, they come back 3 times to fight. You know what I mean? If you just look at Matt Bonner, he had a bad loss to Jamie Richardson, what he thought was a bad loss, and he turned it around and he's won the belt. And that's not just turned around a loss, that's turned his whole career around, never mind just a single loss. So Nathan's in a good spot. I know that set a fire under his arse, and even though obviously he had that perfect record, undefeated, 100% finish rate, it's better that he got that loss out of him now while he's still at Cage Warriors before he's headlining UFCs in the future.
100%. As you mentioned, Matt there, I spoke to Matt a few times. I wanted to ask actually because Nate, I'm sure you're probably going to give me the same answer Nathan did, but when Matt won the belt, did that bring any extra motivation to yourself or any other guys in the gym?
Yeah, 100%. Like, Matt hasn't been with us since day one, you know, and we actually had lads in the past fight against Matt. So for Matt to come in with a mixed record, come to the gym, start following everything that we're doing, and it's like a short time he's got to where we all want to be, a world champion. And he's just proved that if you follow what Ellis and Paul and Adam are teaching us, that we're going to get there. And he's sort of just, again, like we've got it from Paddy, Molly, they're the ones that we've produced since they were beginners, you know what I mean? But even when Bonner came in, he's already been fighting however many fights, and he's still done the same thing. So the game plan and the path that our gym's created just proves time and time again that it's the best one if you want to become a world champion.
100%. As you mentioned Paddy there, I feel like I've got to bring it up. Obviously, he put out a tweet, contract signed, whatever he said. I'm not sure if you know who's fighting or anything yet, but what can we expect from Paddy the Baddie, do you think, in his next UFC bout?
Typical Paddy, lad. Fucking probably a heart attack halfway through it and to get a big finish and a big win. But yeah, obviously can't talk too much about what Paddy's doing next, and that's for Paddy to talk about. It's not about me to talk about. But you know when Paddy fights, it's a big show, and just the UFC debuts proved that he's been doing on Cage Warriors for years, and he's had 1 fight in the UFC, and he's bigger than 95% of the roster already. You know what I mean? Every day I go on my Instagram, see a fucking meme about Paddy. You know what I mean? I get my family sending me memes about Paddy. You know what I mean? It's he's massive, and you know every time he fights, he's going to put on a show. So obviously, you can just expect typical Paddy in his next fight.
100%. I wanted to talk about yourself and Almighty. Obviously, we spoke about your fight, but it wasn't the first time you've competed on Almighty. What's your relationship like with the promotion, and how would you compare Almighty to other promotions you've competed on?
Well, Almighty was the first promotion I actually got a win on as an amateur, to be fair, and I've got a good relationship with Ray on there. You know, I was meant to fight in August, make my debut in August in Barnsley against Chris Hill, but Chris Hill couldn't make the fight, made weight, but had to go to the hospital. So obviously, Ray Thompson had to break the news to me, you know what I mean? But Paul broke the news to me, but I had to not fight that day, and he got me a new opponent, flew someone in from Italy for me. You know, he done everything he could, and he looks after you, he treats you well on them shows. And Almighty's a good show, you know, especially for like for the domestic scene, just because from an amateur to a pro, you can get your first few pro fights on there before you move on to elsewhere. But obviously, the amateurs as well get some experience on a good show. And it's not like these little shitty sports or shows where it's the cage is barely put together and it's just one gym first, a shitload of bums. It's good matchups, good fights, and over the last few weeks, Almighty's been showing that they're putting good fights on for the lads.
100%. I've just got a couple more. What got you wanting to be in the sport of MMA in the first place?
Because I was an angry kid. I like watching MMA. To be fair, one of the lads said, "Let's watch this Anderson Silva's returning. Let's watch his fight." And I ended up watching it, and then started watching bits more and more. Started staying up and watching them, and then before you know it, I was watching them all the time. And I thought, "Fuck it, I'll give it a go." And I ended up having a fight in school, and they wanted to send me to anger management, but somehow blagged my way into an MMA gym as my anger management. So I ended up going there, but just literally awful liking it. And I've always watched boxing since I was a kid. I've always liked fighting and like stuff like that, going to the gym. So drafts just played hand in hand, and it was something that I enjoyed doing.
100%. I've got a feeling I know the answer to this, but what's your aspirations within the sport?
To be a world champion, lad. It's not an aspiration, lad. I know it's going to happen. At the end of the day, I know I'm going to have a big gold belt around my waist, whatever promotion it is. I'm not bothered. I know I'm going to be a world champion, and I'm going to make a good living out of this. So, I'm miles above these people who are nearly fighting for world titles already. You know, especially on not obviously in the UFC. The UFC is a different level, but these smaller world titles like the Cage Warriors and stuff, I'm on level with them already, and I've only made my debut. You know what I mean? I've trained with world champions since I was 16. It's not new to me to be competing at that world championship level, so I know for a fact that I'm going to have a belt around my waist in the next 3-4 years.
Well, I don't want to keep you for too long, but before we go, how can people find you on social media?
Yeah, social media is all my social media. It's just my name, Ben Petches-Kelly. It's a funky name, so I'll get all the good handles on Twitter, so on Instagram and that. So just my name. Give us a follow, and you'll come through the rehab with me and with me as well. So you'll see how it comes a broken hand knocking people out again.
Well, Ben, it's been a pleasure. Great to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see you back in there.